Mexico has filed a lawsuit against U.S. gun manufacturers claiming they're responsible for the illegal flow of guns into the country. The Washington Post reports about 2.
Hello, today I present to you an extremely attractive application for music lovers. It's completely free. You can listen to music online or download unlimited music to use whenever you don't have internet. The powerful search function helps you find anything you want. Trust me. It's hard not to find what you're looking for because the search function is really powerful. Application download link is attached in the description of the video. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Thanks.
5 million illicit American guns have poured into Mexico over the past decade. Authorities there say these guns have contributed to an explosion in murders across the country. The Washington Post Mexico Bureau Chief Kevin Sieff has been reporting on this. He joins me now from Mexico City. Kevin, thanks for joining us. First off, which U.S. gun manufacturers are being targeted in this suit, and what's the Mexican government hoping to gain?
Yeah, there are 11 gun manufacturers that are targeted in the lawsuit, including big names like Smith & Wesson, Glock, and Colt. And basically, the Mexican government, they are looking for, among other things, financial damages, which could run into the billions. But beyond the money, what they're looking for, I think, is to draw attention to an issue that they say has led to a record level of homicides in Mexico. Every year, around 250,000 guns, including military-grade weapons, flow from the United States into Mexico. And those weapons are found every day at crime scenes across the country. And so for years, the Mexican government has asked the U.S. to do something to stop this flow of weapons, and basically nothing has changed. And so what this lawsuit does is it's an attempt, at least, to escalate the issue, to take the issue into the federal court system of the United States in looking for some kind of solution.
Now, how does Mexico know that these guns come from the U.S.?
So there's actually a system in place in which the U.S. works with Mexico to trace weapons that are found at crime scenes. And when those weapons are traced, more than 7 out of 10 can be traced back to the United States. And so it's not just the Mexican government that claims that these weapons come from the United States. It's actually the U.S. government that is helping to make that connection. And so what the Mexican government is saying is, okay, well, you've made that connection. We've established collectively that these weapons are coming from the U.S. And again, these are including 50 caliber weapons, AK-47s, weapons that really are more powerful than what the Mexican security forces have. And the Mexican government is now looking for the U.S. to do more.
How are the American gun manufacturers responding to this lawsuit?
So far, they've basically said that they believe the lawsuit is absurd. They believe that the problem in Mexico is not the flow of American guns; it's the Mexican government's incompetence, their lack of action on crime. And the truth is that the Mexican government could be doing a lot more, by its own admission, to stop violence in Mexico. No one is claiming that the only problem is the flow of guns south from the United States to Mexico. But certainly, if you have a country where 250,000 illegal weapons are flowing every year, even a government that has a competent, coherent security policy is going to run into major problems, and that's what we're seeing here.
So, Kevin, is there a reason the Mexican government is targeting gun manufacturers instead of the U.S. government? Wouldn't influencing gun policy in the U.S. also impact the flow of guns to Mexico?
So the Mexican government has for many years asked the U.S. government to do more to stop the flow of guns south. So that remains a sort of like everyday request that the Mexican government is making. I think part of the reason why you're seeing this sort of shift to the gun manufacturing industry in the United States is because, for political purposes, the Mexican government, it's easier in some ways for the Mexican government to ask for action from the American private sector than from the U.S. government, because they're looking, it's obviously a very delicate relationship between the U.S. and Mexico on a whole range of political issues. And so asking for the private sectors, or asking for help from the private sector in the form of a lawsuit is in some ways more politically palatable. Also, I think that the response you get from the Mexican government is, well, they've tried to seek help from the U.S. on this issue, and they haven't really gotten it. And so maybe this will do something that the sort of political pressure they've applied so far hasn't been able to accomplish.
Kevin, what's the likelihood this lawsuit will be successful in court?
I mean, so successful in court, I think quite unlikely, but successful in potentially raising the stakes, potentially raising the profile of this issue, whether within the U.S. government or just within the sort of United States population at large. I think that is as important to the Mexican government maybe as a sort of legal victory in the court system. If they can prompt the U.S. to do more at the border to stop the flow of guns, if they can prompt different agencies within the U.S. government to act on this issue, and they mentioned a whole range of actions they'd like to see, then even if the legal victory doesn't happen, I think they will be pleased by the outcome.
Kevin Sieff, thank you.
Thank you.